Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Joyful Money podcast. Today, we're going to be covering the number one belief holding you back from creating exponential success in your business. And I am so grateful that you're here because today I'm going to open your eyes for you to see exactly why you're not creating the results you want in your business. So grab a cup of coffee, grab some notes if you are not driving. I know many of you drive to work while listening to this podcast, but if you're not driving, grab some notes because you're gonna take action because that's the whole point. I don't want you to listen to this podcast or watch these videos on YouTube and not take action. Before I dive in, and a number of announcements or acknowledgements. First, I want to acknowledge Kiana. Kiana left me a review a few days ago, and it really just warms my heart. She left me a review on Apple Podcast, and it made it the number 56 review from the US. So I know we have a number of listeners from the UK, from Canada, from Australia, New Zealand, all over the world. So how the way Apple Podcast works is each of those countries have each of their pages. So I track the US page, and so that's how I know that I have 56 reviews on Apple Podcast US. So I keep track of all of my reviews from all of the countries. So I always love reading these reviews. So Kiana titled her review Grateful. And she said, I am so grateful for this podcast. I've been listening for months now, and joy is just so motivating and encouraging. Thank you so much, Kiana. That review truly means a lot to me, and I am so grateful. If you've not left me a review yet on Apple Podcast, please head on over to Apple Podcast. Those reviews truly warm my heart when I read them, and I want to acknowledge you as well, the way I just acknowledged Kiana. So I'm going to pick one review per week. I'm going to read out your review on the podcast, and I'm going to acknowledge you. And I want to thank you in advance for leaving me a review. In fact, the other day I was checking my analytics on YouTube, and over 99.6% of my listeners are not subscribers. Now, I say that because many of you track vanity metrics. I had someone comment on a consult call the other day, and she said, oh, I'm not getting a lot of likes on my posts. Well, likes will not get you money in your bank account. Okay, so stop tracking vanity metrics. I think I have about 100 subscribers right now. The number of subscribers doesn't matter, especially if you're not trying to monetize your YouTube channel. So what I mean is, for example, my Joyful Money podcast, I am not trying to monetize. In fact, I am making so much money from my podcast compared to people who have thousands of subscribers on their YouTube channel. Why? Because I am not trying to monetize from a YouTube perspective. I'm not trying to become a YouTube influencer. I'm not trying to have millions of subscribers. Okay. What matters to me is that I'm consistently signing clients. Okay, so if your goal is not to monetize your YouTube channel, like you don't want to run ads and get paid for those ads, then I want you to stop worrying about number of subscribers. That doesn't matter. So I was so fascinated when I saw that analytic in the back end, and YouTube was telling me that over 99.6% of the people who listen to my podcast every week, they are not subscribers. Now, I'm not going to discourage you from being a subscriber. Yes, go ahead and subscribe. I love when people subscribe, so that means you get notified when there is a new video. But ultimately, if you have a YouTube channel, I don't want you to worry about number of subscribers. The other thing I want to celebrate, and if you follow me on social media this week, I celebrated this. I hired 3 new software engineers into my Clearcraft business. So I am not just a business coach, because you have business coaches who make money from teaching people how to run a business, and they've never run a business in their lives. Okay. I have a business myself. My business is Clearcraft. This is where I build AI products for businesses. So I build AI voice agents. So I was celebrating hiring 3 new software engineers into my team this week, and I'm currently hiring for an operations manager. So head on over to my Instagram if you want to see that post. There are specific skills I'm looking for. You have to have VAPI experience, hands-on retail experience, as well as end-to-end and make integration. You also need to understand how DHL workflows work because you will be managing software developers. And I want this to be a woman this time. So all of my tech team, they are all males, and I truly, truly want a female on my team. So another thing I am celebrating, we are just $15,000 shy of hitting our $500,000 goal, which is crazy. So, first, it was the 2nd of January. I posted on Instagram. So, go on my Instagram and scroll down to the beginning of the year. You're going to see where I announced and I put my goal out into the universe, and I said my desire is to make $500,000 this year. And that was crazy to say. And we are just at the beginning of August and we are crushing that goal already, which is wild. And so I am just so grateful that I took the action and now I am enjoying the fruit of those actions. So those are the things I wanted to share with you today. Now, I want you to understand the number one belief that is holding you back right now from incredible success. Now, that belief is going to throw you off. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I realize this? Because this is the hidden wall between you and the success you crave. And so, if you are listening to this video or listening on the podcast, there is a part of you that wants more money. There is a part of you that wants more clients. There is a part of you that wants to make more impact. You want more freedom in your life. But no matter how much you try, no matter how much hustling or investing in yourself you do, there is something that just isn't clicking. You're doing all the right things. You're posting on social media every day. In fact, I have a colleague, someone we went into a mastermind together, and she posts 3 times a day. In fact, my heart aches for her because I see how much she's trying. They call this efforting. You're doing so much effort online, posting every day. You're launching offers. You are investing in courses. In fact, you've forgotten the number of passwords you have for different courses you bought, and you haven't even logged into almost 80% of those courses. But still, your results are inconsistent. Your results are underwhelming. So, what's the truth? There is a subconscious, in fact, just one subconscious belief that keeps so many people stuck more than anything else. And I have been doing this work for nearly 5 years now. All of the mindset work and delving into neuroscience and subconscious belief. And my research has shown that just one subconscious belief holds most people back. And that subconscious belief is the belief that success is not meant for me. That is the subconscious belief holding so many people back. Subconsciously, they believe that success is not meant for me. Most people don't even realize they're thinking this. They might consciously say they want success, but deep inside, they are operating from a belief system that says they are the exception to the rule, that other people can be successful, but not them. And so I just want you to realize that on a logical or analytical level, you want to be successful. In fact, there is nobody I speak to that will say I don't want success. Everybody wants more money. Everyone wants more success. That's at a logical level, your conscious mind, right? But at a subconscious level, there is the thought you think, which is that success is not meant for you. And that's why you are not creating the success you want. Now, I know you might say, oh, I don't think so. Well, that's why it's a subconscious thought. You don't even realize that you have this thought running the show underneath. That's the programming underneath your consciousness, right? That is running the show. That is the subconscious saboteur of your future. Now, how do I know this? Because your results reveal what you believe. In fact, when I say this to so many people, they're like, oh my gosh, why? It's my uncle, or it's my mom, or it's XYZ. But I want you to understand that your current financial situation, the amount of money you're making right now in your business, is a direct result of the belief you have. And that's why I said this is happening at a subconscious level because logically, you want to be successful. Logically, you want to make 20K every single month. That's at a logical level. But subconsciously, you do not believe that success is possible for you because if you did, your results will show. So I'm sure you know this already. You don't get what you want, you get what you believe, you get what you are. And your current reality is a mirror, a reflection of the belief system you have. So, like I said, your business growth, the exact amount of dollars you made last month in your business is a plain mirror to your internal belief system. One of my clients, Susan, her coach, she couldn't break the 3K month mark. She was always trying all the things, but somehow she would never pass 3K per month. She was a certified coach. She had incredible talent. She had a magnetic personality, but yet the most she would make would be $2,000 or $3,000 per month. After working together, we uncovered her core subconscious thought. And this was the thought we uncovered. She said, the thought is, I grew up in a working class family. Nobody around me ever made more than $50,000 per month. It just doesn't feel right for me to want more. Those were the thoughts I uncovered during our coaching session. And I'm like, wow, that's the thought. Because she's thinking, nobody around me makes more than $50,000 per year. And her subconscious thought was, it doesn't feel right for me to want more money. So no matter the amount of strategy sessions she had, her inner thermostat was set to struggle. Like that's what her body loves, struggling. And I'm sure you're like, what does she mean? Our body stores our belief. Our body stores our emotions. So when you've created certain emotions, certain results over and over, is remembered by your body. So if you are conditioned to struggle and you think making money is so hard, that's what your body remembers. And your body, which is like your body, I call it the nervous system, it keeps you at that threshold. It doesn't allow you to pass that threshold because that's where your body feels safe. So once we rewired that part of her brain, she hit her first 10K month within 60 days. That's how powerful this is when you uncover all of those subconscious thoughts that says, oh, I don't think this is possible for me. And because you're thinking that, your actions reflect your thought, and then your actions ultimately determine your results. But here's the thing. 95% of our thoughts are on autopilot. And that's why I told you it happens at the subconscious level. Now, according to research, an average human being has 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. 60,000 thoughts per day. Yes. Go search Google. I'm not making this up. 60,000 thoughts per day. And over 95% of those thoughts are repetitive thoughts. So they're recycled thoughts from the day before and from the day before. They're thoughts you're thinking at a subconscious level. So that means only 5% of those thoughts are happening at a conscious level, at a logical level. You're not choosing most of your thoughts. They're happening at a subconscious level. You're living in a loop of mental programming from your childhood, from the society, from past trauma, from repetition. That's the thought that's happening at a subconscious level. So I want you to know that you're not stuck at the same income level because you're lazy. No, It's not like you're lazy, and it's not that you're broken. You are just stuck because you haven't reprogrammed your operating system. So think of your mind like a computer. If the code is corrupted, which is success is for other people and not for me, if that's the code running in the programming of your computer, then no matter how many apps you install on your phone or your computer, you will keep having that system glitch. Okay, so if the programming on your laptop is corrupted, it doesn't matter how many new apps you buy, you're still going to have the same glitch over and over again. I'm going to tell you the three types of beliefs, the three phases of the belief. So you see how this belief manifests itself. So if you say, okay, how can I be sure that subconsciously I believe success is not for me or success is not possible for me? I'm going to give you three ways you're going to know you have this belief. The first is procrastination. If you're always procrastinating, it's because subconsciously you do not believe success is for you. So you delay lunch, or you delay sending an email, or you delay making a call to action or selling. The reason you procrastinate is because at a subconscious level, you don't believe this business will work for you. Because if you truly believe this business will work for you will not procrastinate. So that's one way for you to know that subconsciously you do not believe that success is possible for you. The second way for you to know is self sabotage. So you get an opportunity and then you talk yourself out of the opportunity. That's because you don't believe success is possible for you. You finally start gaining traction and momentum, and all of a sudden you quit halfway through the program. Why? Because subconsciously you do not believe that success is possible for you. I had one client, Jennifer, she was a freelancer, and she got an invitation to speak at a virtual summit. And her first reaction was, they must have made a mistake. She actually declined that offer. Not because she didn't have the skill or the strategy of all the time, but because deep down, she didn't believe she was worthy of the visibility. So if someone invited you to be interviewed on a podcast or on a show, and your first reaction is to decline, that's because you don't believe success is possible for you. The third way for you to know you have this subconscious belief is when you are undercharging chronically. You underprice your offers, even though you know your work is valuable. Why? Well, because your inner belief whispers, no one will pay that much for your services. No one will pay that much to work with you. So when you have that subconscious belief that success is not possible for you, no one's going to pay that much. So, for example, I had a client. She priced her offer to 1,500. She was charging 1,500 for 6 months of coaching, and I said, "Do you know that that price will not attract premium clients? Like 1,500 for 6 months of coaching." I told her, "You need to raise your price to $5,000." And her reaction was, who's going to pay? No one is going to pay that much for my service. She was a midlife coach. She said, no one's going to pay that much for my service. And just the reaction on her face, she could not bring herself to believe that she could have a transformational offer that somebody can pay $5,000 for. Okay, so now I want to help you identify your limiting thoughts. So the loop of the subconscious belief that has been running the show in your subconscious mind, I want to help you identify. Now, as you probably know, the first step to change is awareness, right? So I told you we have 60,000 thoughts per day. And 95% of those thoughts are subconscious thoughts. So those thoughts happen outside of your consciousness. So, what's the first step to change? Well, we have to become aware of those thoughts. Like, that's the first thing, because if those thoughts are happening at a subconscious level, we have to bring them up to our awareness to understand those thoughts in the first place. So, ask yourself these questions. When you think about making 10K every month consistently, what's the first thought that comes up in your mind? So think about this. Making 10 or 20K every single month in your business. What thought comes to your mind? Do you secretly believe, I'm not that type of person who becomes wealthy? What was modeled for you about money, about success, about worth growing up? So I want you to ask yourself these questions and be super, super curious. And I tell my clients, don't judge the thoughts, write down the first thought that comes up. So I'm going to give you a prompt exercise. So write this down in your journal. People like me become successful because XYZ. So write it down. I want you to write out 10 times. So write out, people like me become successful because, write your reasons. I want you to write it 10 times. If you struggle to write 10 different reasons why people like you become successful, that's a sign that you are carrying some subconscious resistance to making lots of money. So I want you to understand what I call the thought model. And the thought model says that your thoughts create your results. So your thoughts become things. How? So first, it starts with a thought, and then the thought creates a feeling in your body, and then that feeling propels you to take specific actions, and then your actions ultimately determine your results. So this is what I call the thought model. So it starts with thoughts, then feelings, then action, then results. Okay, so your feelings fuel your actions. But then what makes you feel a particular feeling is the thought you choose to think. So let's say right now you're making $3,000 in your business. So somehow you're unable to break through that 5K mark in your business every month, and you want different results. Well, if you want different results, you need to think differently. And I like to reverse engineer this. So think about this. To make $20,000 in your business every month, so that's the result, it goes in the result line. To make $20,000 every month, what feeling do you need to be feeling to take the actions that will create $20,000 a month? And then what thought do you need to be thinking to create the feeling? So I'm going to give you an example. If you choose to think the thought, it's inevitable for me to sign premium clients. So I want you to close your eyes and think the thought. Signing premium clients is inevitable for me. When you think that thought, what feeling does it create in your body? So I'm going to close my eyes too, and I encourage you to close your eyes and think the thought. So think it in your mind. Signing premium clients is inevitable for me. So that means I am going to be successful. I am going to sign premium clients every month consistently. When I think that thought, as I close my eyes so I can focus, what feeling does it create in my body? When I think the thought, signing premium clients is inevitable for me in my business, I feel motivated. I feel determined. So that's the feeling, right? So that thought creates the feeling of motivated and determined. When I feel motivated and determined, what actions do I take in my business? Well, I launch a new workshop. I host a new workshop. Well, because I am thinking the thought, signing premium clients is inevitable. And now I'm motivated and determined in my business. When you're motivated and determined, what actions do you take? Well, you send the email with a call to action for people to book a call. right? And when you take all of those actions, what results do you create? Well, you create consults and you create clients. So can you see how changing your thoughts changes your results? Another thought I can offer you is I'm the kind of woman who creates success doing what she loves. When you think the thought, I am the kind of woman that creates success doing what she loves, just feel the way it feels in your body. What does it generate in your body? Another thought is people love to pay me for the transformation I offer. People enjoy paying me. In fact, that's a belief I have, and it's always coming to pass. When people sign up for my programs, they're always very excited, and they tell me thank you. So people love paying me for the transformation I offer. I want you to start practicing that thought. Practice those thoughts every day and journal about them until they become your new normal. So now, when you start to journal these thoughts, it's going to feel uncomfortable because subconsciously you do not believe success is possible for you, right? So you have to practice those thoughts until they feel believable. That's where the transformation happens. Until you believe and it generates through emotions, you're not going to take the action that'll get you the results. In fact, this changed my life when I understood how the law of attraction works. When I understood why so many people chant affirmations every single day and they are still stuck in their businesses. They are still making less than 5K every single month. Why? Because the affirmations they're choosing to say, they don't believe. If you don't believe the affirmations, you're not going to generate the emotions, the feelings that those thoughts generate. That's where the magic happens, right? So it's the belief and the emotions, the feelings that propel you to take specific actions. Just this past Friday, so 3 days ago, something incredible happened. So I joined a group of online podcasters. So it's an online group I'm part of. I paid, right? So it's not free. So I paid to be in that community. And one of the connections I made, we jumped on a call. It was a 15-minute call to just get to know each other. I wanted to go on her podcast. And just on the call, in just 15 minutes, we just clicked. And okay, I'm going on her podcast. Her name is Julie DeLuca. She's a TEDx speaker. She's just an incredible human being. She's an author and she's close friends with one of my coaching idols. So my coaching idol is Corinne Crabtree. I love Corinne Crabtree. And Julie is close friends to Corinne. In fact, Julie has coached in Corinne's program as a coach. And so just this past Friday, she I'm going on her podcast and she's coming on my podcast. So you're going to learn incredible insights from Julie. She has an incredible story of how she's overcome her limiting beliefs to build confidence. So she's coming on the podcast in a few weeks. And I am going on her podcast too. Her podcast is called Casa de Confidence. So go check that out. And the reason I'm telling you this is all of these things manifested on Friday because I took the action to pay to be on that platform. So can you see how your thought create your feeling and your feeling propels you to take action and the action determines your results? Not only is she coming on the podcast, immediately after the call, she was so excited about our conversation. She connected me via email. She did an introduction to three amazing powerhouse coaches. They are called the Passionistas Project. In fact, it's just crazy how just the action of putting myself on that online community has created this beautiful connection, and we are now all going to collaborate together. So that's a typical example of how your thoughts, because the thought I choose to think in my business is I'm a badass. I make tons and tons of money, right? So because I am choosing those thoughts create a feeling in my body, and that feeling is determination, excitement, joy, positivity, confidence. When I feel all of those feelings, what actions do I take? Well, I become more visible. And when I become more visible, opportunities present themselves and people sign into my program, which is crazy. So I am teaching you what works, my friends. Now, I want you to practice this, practice the thoughts, practice visualization, like just like we just did. Close your eyes, imagine the thought, and then imagine the feeling. So when you close your eyes, think about this. If your goal is to create $20,000 in your business, visualize how does that look like? If you are generating $20,000 in your business every single month, doing what you love, if in fact, your calendar is just full of people you want to work with, you only do one coaching per week, you have a lovely group of women, 100 women in your group, and you coach them just once a week. You do what you love. You host one monthly workshop per month. So visualize, how does that feel when you're earning $20,000 every single month? Close your eyes, visualize it. And here's the thing, my friend. Did you know that your brain cannot differentiate between reality and fiction? Your brain cannot differentiate between reality and fiction. So when you visualize the future, when you visualize the results you want to create, and you install that picture so vividly in your mind, when you do this often, your brain thinks it's reality, which is crazy. Now, this is science backed. I'm not making this up. And I just want you to try it for yourself. If your goal is to create $20,000 in your business every single month, and you've been struggling, you've been doing the thing every day. You post reels on Instagram, you post on TikTok, you post on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you're doing all the things, and yet you are stuck at below 5K every single month. I want you to discover the underlying thought holding you back. And when you do this, when you begin to believe differently, your results will show. And remember, I told you, your results tell me what you believe. Like that's science. Like if you tell me you truly believe in your success and you're only making $5,000 per month, your result doesn't match what you say you believe, right? So the proof of what you believe is in your results, and the best way to measure results is in your revenue, because we are all business owners, right? So all of this to say, success is meant for you. There was no way that when God was creating all of us, and just imagine all of us on a conveyor belt, and he was creating all of us, there is no way he was stamping success on somebody and stamping failure on somebody else. No. In fact, all of us have the same ability to create success. We have the same potential. I want you to understand that success is meant for you. The fact that you can dream something, the fact that you can have a vision or a goal for something is proof that it is possible for you. So if you have a yearning desire to create $50,000 per month in your business, I want you to know that it's possible for you. So for this week, I'm going to give you homework. Yeah, I'm going to give you homework. First, I want you to become aware of your subconscious thoughts. I want you to journal your default thoughts about success, about money, about visibility, about wealth. And next, I want you to rewire your thoughts. I want you to choose new thoughts that will align with the version of you that creates success. The third thing I want you to do is feel it first. I want you to feel it in your body. I want you to rehearse emotionally. Emotionally rehearse success before it shows up in your bank account. And I want you to repeat this every single day, just 5 to 10 minutes every morning. In fact, how I do mine is I before I wake up in the morning. So I usually wake up at about 3:30 and I go exercise for 2 hours. I go on a walk outside 5 a.m. every day. Come back at 7 to get my daughter ready for summer camp when I'm in summer. Before I wake up every morning, I'm still on my bed. Before I step out of bed, I do my 5 to 10 minutes of all of these things I just told you. I practice on my bed every single day. And then last thing at night, before I sleep, instead of watching Netflix, I install my future in my mind. I visualize my future. And when I go to bed, I have sweet dreams because I installed that vision in my mind before I went to bed. And that's how I am creating the magic I am creating right now. So that's your assignment for this week. I want you to send me a DM on Instagram. What's landing for you? What came up? Are you finding resistance to doing the work to uncover your subconscious belief? What's coming up for you? I want you to tell me what aha moments did you experience? Tell me in the DMs. I love hearing from you in the DMs. Oh, many of you DM me, which I absolutely love. So send me a DM on Instagram. Tell me what's coming up for you. Now, if you're tired of struggling, if you're tired of being stuck under 5K every month, we're now in August, my friend. If you're not making money in your business consistently, I can help you. I can help you uncover those subconscious beliefs. I can help you focus on taking the actions in your business that will get you the results. I can help you overcome procrastination. I can help you overcome imposter syndrome so that you show up boldly and confidently, because boldness and confidence is what attracts premium clients. When you show up boldly and confidently, when you believe success is possible for you at a subconscious level, you take the actions to get you the results. In fact, last week I was coaching my client, Dr. Saya, Dr. Saya Yates of the Balance Mama Project, and she told me on the call she had a collaboration booked already with somebody she met on Facebook because she took the action. She believes she's a successful person already. And that's why she's taking the action, and that's why she's getting the results. So I am going to help you become the woman who is successful already, because when you become, then you do, then you have. In fact, my coach calls it the be, do, have. You have to become first before you do and before you have. Many people skip that be part and they focus on the do part. That's why so many people are hustling, because you are doing the actions without becoming first. You have to become first before you do the action, before you get the results. So be, do, have. Many people skip the be part and move to the do, hustle, and when you keep hustling, even if you get the results, you're burnt out, you're not happy, you're not fulfilled. But when you become first in your mind, the doing becomes so effortless. That's why I have created so much success in my Joyful Money business without a virtual assistant. Just crazy. Now, I am thinking of hiring a VA because obviously if I want to scale, if I want to grow, I need to hire help. But all of the success I've created so far, I haven't hired a VA because I'm not hustling, right? Because the actions are coming from a place of love, excitement, joy, confidence. And when you create from that place, you become so magnetic that people say, I'm going to buy whatever she has to offer. I'm like, okay, here's my payment link. Right? Money comes to you effortlessly because you become first before you take the action. I truly hope that this episode has blessed you, and I cannot wait for the next episode. Also, I want you to tell me in the DMs, or if you're watching on YouTube, tell me in the comments. Are there specific things you're struggling with in your business right now that you need help with? I'm going to create a video for that. So tell me the kind of content you want, and I'm going to help you, because I am so heart-centered, and I feel like this is my mission in the world. Even if you never join my paid program, I want you to get results from the content I put out on my YouTube. That's what fills my heart with joy. In fact, so many people send me their updates in the DMs. Someone has their workshop coming up next month. She's not my official client, but I view her as my client because she listens to my podcast. And she sends me all of these updates, and It just fills my heart with joy watching people take action just from the free content I'm putting out on YouTube. So I want you to keep sending me your updates via DMs. My goal for this podcast is for you to make as much money as you want to make, right? I have people come to my workshops, and when I ask them what their income goal is, some people say 10K. Somebody else said $250,000 in my last workshop. Another person said her goal was to reach 1 million. So it doesn't matter what your goal is. My hope is that you take the action to create the results you want in your business. And if you want my help, because obviously, if I help you to turbocharge your action and results, now you can do this on your own, right? You can keep watching the free content and taking the action. But if you want to turbocharge your results and you want my help, I can help you get there faster. Send me a DM. I'll tell you how we can work together. I'll see you back here on the next episode. Hey, very quickly before you go, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending time with me today. I hope today's episode gave you something powerful to add to your business toolbox, something you can come back to anytime you need a little extra motivation in your business. If you loved today's episode, the best way you can support me and the show is to leave me a review and also to share this with an incredible businesswoman like yourself. And if you're ready to create consistent 10K months with ease and alignment, I invite you to apply to join my 6 months mastermind. Visit johnnyroland.com to book your free complimentary discovery call. I cannot wait to help you step into your next level. Until next time, stay aligned, stay confident, and keep creating joyful money. Bye for now.